Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Movies, where I review the styles of movies that I love, the alternative B-rated cult style flicks. And this one is definitely an alternative B-rated cult flick. This one came out in 1989, and it was written and directed by Scott Spiegel, and co-written and produced by Lawrence Bender, based on Night Crew by Scott Spiegel, made by Beyond Infinity and Phantom Productions, and distributed by Empire Pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, Intruder. The movie opens with a couple of gossiping clerks.
Am I interrupting something?
And Emil Sitka from the Three Stooges fame. He reacted the way I kind of react when I'm stuck in that situation. Apparently Scott Spiegel was such a Three Stooges fan that not only did he want to get Emil Sitka in the movie as a cameo, but insisted that he does this famous line that he did in several Three Stooges movies.
Hold hands, you lovebirds.
I can't blame Scott Spiegel. This would be like I finally get to direct a movie and I get to do a cameo with Jory Lawrence going, "Whoa!" One of the girls, Jennifer, goes outside to round up some shopping carts. And outside is a ne'er-do-well kind of guy. A guy you know is a bad guy. Why? He's got a leather jacket. When Jennifer goes inside, leather jacket guy comes inside and confronts her.
Long time no see.
Craig?
Okay, that's his name. I was hoping he would be casted as leather jacket guy, but no. They get into a little tiff. Craig is upset because Jennifer dumped him while he was in prison, which he just got out of, and she's just trying to tell him it's over.
You're crazy!
Yeah, cameraman, let her go. To save her, all the male workers come out and fight off leather jacket guy in a very, very pathetic fight scene. To get away, Craig grabs Sam Raimi, director and creator of the original Evil Dead series, and director of the first 3 Spider-Man movies. He plays Randy. So now they all go looking for leather jacket Craig. Well, he's not in the sink. Yeah, apparently they're not doing a very good job looking for him because while Jennifer is calling the police, Craig is right behind her. But as Craig is confronting her, finally they all come out, grabbing him and forcing him out of the store, and warning him of what'll happen if he comes back.
You better hope that the cops get you before I do.
He's not afraid of you. He's got a leather jacket. Well, now that that's over, the owners, Danny and Bill, round up all the employees before the night shift begins, and they have something to tell all of them.
Bill and I are selling the store.
Hey, I can't blame him. You have any idea how many leather jacket guys he has to deal with? Danny promises them a bonus before the end of the month when they lose their jobs, and also tells them if they need recommendations, him and Bill will definitely sign them. Then he leaves, and Bill sides with them, saying he didn't want to sell.
Randy, I started out here as a butcher, just like you, and finally worked my way up to co-owner of this place.
But apparently he's not the majority owner. He's got 49%, Danny has 51%. Only one of the employees wasn't there, though.
Lost your job, Joe!
Ted Raimi, who plays Produce Joe. They didn't call Randy Butcher Randy, so I don't know. Jennifer starts talking to her fellow employee Linda, played by Renee Estevez, about Craig and why he was in prison for a year. Apparently he got a year in prison because he and Jennifer were at a bar, she broke up with him because he's crazy, and it got heated, and some guy came along trying to calm the situation, and they got into a fight and Craig accidentally beat him to death. He only got a year for that? Later we see another co-worker, Dave, coming over to Jennifer to see if she's okay and also to ask her out on a date, to which she says yes. I wouldn't have asked her out. I mean, she's kind of cute, sure, but she's got a psycho stalker. Now, they're all at lunch, and Bill starts going into a story of what made him quit being a volunteer firefighter, where they showed up at a car accident with a decapitated corpse, and they went looking for it until one of the firefighters found it.
Swinging the head by the hair in one hand and his hamburger in the other, and he's still eating it!
Wasn't this in the movie Raising Arizona? The police show up, finally. They say they looked him up, he's dangerous, but they already looked around the parking lot.
Well, if you see him around here again, why, don't hesitate to call.
Well, now they all feel safe. Now Linda's shift is done, so she's heading home. That's odd. If you look at the back of the VHS or DVD cover, she looks like she's going to be the heroine. But it turns out that this was a worse gig than Sleepaway Camp 2. Bill hears something, so he goes outside to check. Of course, he sees Craig. But it's okay, Bill's got a hammer. But then he drops it. Sorry, Bill, but your hammer was no match for a leather jacket. While Danny is upstairs, having a drink, going over the final things for the sale, somebody attacks him. An unknown person starts killing him. And this person makes a point. Then we go to Produce Joe, who's chopping carrots. Now you see how the carrot feels. You know, it's crazy, but it seems like Ted Raimi dies very quickly in every movie. Now to Tim, the worker in the beer cooler. Oh my god! You're wasting beer!
No!
Another worker, Bub, I guess that's who Wolverine was always talking about, finds Tim. So what's he gonna do to Bub? He's gonna drag him over to the cardboard baler and show us just how low budget this movie is. I will say though, I've seen many cardboard balers. They all have the little warnings on how dangerous they are, and it turns out they're really only dangerous if you sit there for 5 minutes while it crushes you. Now to Randy, the butcher. The better question is, why did he take the time to wrap it? Oh, Randy. He's hooked. Now to Dave.
Randy? Bob?
No. See, I know you're a low-budget actor, but your character's name is Dave. While looking for them...
I know
You see that your boss is missing an eye, so you run. I wouldn't help him either. But then Dave looks out the window in his boss's office and sees Craig, so he rushes to Jennifer. But he encounters a killer. Maybe you should, fight back a little bit. Instead of just flailing and screaming like, bitch! Yeah. Instead, he just continues to scream and scream as he gets his face sawed in half. So the moral of this story, bitches die. Jennifer is now the only one left. And she finds Randy. And she thinks that meat is probably spoiled. And of course she starts freaking out. Running from the danger, she does the smart thing and runs into the meat cooler where she'll be trapped. But someone else is in there. She runs off and she finds everyone is dead, including... So does this mean the date is off? She even finds Craig.
Let me go!
Got him. But then...
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah. So while Bill is calling the police, Jennifer notices he's got an awful lot of blood on him. And I think we'd all be shocked if it wasn't so freaking obvious. Not just from watching the movie, but if you happened to see the VHS or DVD cover, it gives away who the killer is.
But why?
Because owners will do anything to get out of paying unemployment. Actually, he says it was trying to save the store. He had to kill Danny. As far as killing the others.
I guess I just got a little carried away.
Maybe a scotch.
I'm just crazy about this store.
You know, you could have just offered Danny a deal to eventually buy him out. It would have been much more legal and a lot less blood to clean up. Duh! She fights him off a little bit and runs and hides. Too bad Dave and Bub weren't alive to see that example instead of what happens when you just sit there and scream. But she doesn't hide very well. He finds her. She tries to run out, but the doors are locked. And only Bill has the keys. And he ain't letting her out yet. Her shift is not over. But turns out, they had a bread delivery coming.
Help me!
Not only was this pointless, but how did he get out there so fast and kill him? Now Bill magically appears back in the store. Danny's head in one hand.
And his sandwich in the other.
You know, not only is this from the movie Raising Arizona, but the guy holding the sandwich in the head was Bill. She runs and she finds Craig, who is now a good guy. A good guy with a leather jacket. Is that even possible? But out comes Bill, and he starts beating on Craig with that severed head. And that's just awesome. Jennifer goes into the bathroom and climbs out the window and makes it to her Jeep. Why did he put her in Jennifer's Jeep? How did he have the keys? There's a lot of holes in this movie. But as he gets to her and gets her out from under the Jeep... I guess you shouldn't have left the knife in, Linda. Maybe just take it with you. Well, it's over. She goes to call the police. Oh, bullsh! But Craig is back, and he is defending his leather jacket. And Jennifer. I just think the leather jacket a little more than Jennifer. Finally, the police show up.
All right, freeze!
And finally, so does Bruce Campbell. I say that because the only reason I watched this movie is because on the box, it has his name on it. As Jennifer is trying to tell them what happened.
We did it. They killed everybody.
That's messed up. So there you have it. That's the 1989 B-movie classic, Intruder. This is one of those awesomely bad movies. As much as I love some of the cast, the acting is terrible. The story has so many holes in it. But it's freaking awesome. Like I said, the box of the movie is both misleading and gives it away. You saw the box, you watch the movie, you're like, isn't that the guy in the box? The other thing that's misleading about it is on there it says Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi. So obviously they were trying to attract the Evil Dead fans. Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 had been out and were big cult flicks. And it worked because when I did see this movie, it was because I saw Bruce Campbell. But whereas it says Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi has a pretty small part. He's just one of the side characters that gets killed pretty quickly. Bruce Campbell barely has a cameo. He's in the very last scene for like a minute. So I remember watching it the first time going like, you know what, you're lucky the rest of this movie was so awesomely bad or I'd be mad right now. The original name of the movie was supposed to be Night Crew, which was the name of the short film that this was based off of. Scott Spiegel made a short film called Night Crew that was basically a short horror film, basically the same premise. And he was going to call this movie the same thing, but the distributors felt that it would do better with a name that was like a generic slasher movie kind of name. And the sad thing is, I think they're probably right. Like, I didn't see it because it was called Intruder. I saw it because of the Bruce Campbell thing, but I get it. The audience that they were going for would probably hear that name and go like, that doesn't sound like a horror film. Intruder definitely sounds like some kind of a horror film. Just really doesn't convey what this movie is about, though. Then again, it could have been worse. In Italy, the movie was released as Terror Without a Face. Which that would make me think that this has got some guy with his face cut off, but no. Guy had his face cut in half, but no. I will say, though, for as much as I make fun of it, it's actually pretty impressive that they did this on a $130,000 budget. Very, very small budget. Had a very, very small limited theater release, so no real box office to speak of. It was mostly a success on VHS. Like, came out, people were like, this is awesomely bad, you gotta see it. Then again, a lot of it I do think had to do with the whole Bruce Campbell thing. By that point, he already had a huge cult following. Like I mentioned in the review, the back of the VHS box was also misleading because that makes you believe that Renee Estevez's character, Linda, was a much bigger part. That basically she was what Jennifer was going to be. But no, she got killed off very quickly. She definitely didn't live up to the Emilio, Martin Sheen, Charlie Sheen name. She kind of lived up to her Uncle Joe's name. Another thing I thought was a little humorous was some of the posters and stuff they released for this movie to promote it. One said, if this doesn't scare you, you're already dead. I would say if this doesn't scare you, it's because you're too busy laughing. I will also say, though, it is a little impressive that they shot this within 2 weeks. Where they shot it was a real store that they really went into at night when they were closed to shoot this. Kind of like Clerks. Except the products and stuff on the shelves, none of them were real things. They didn't damage anything. They just put props there. They also used a lot of stock footage. Like, one thing that makes me laugh is a set of cutaway transition scenes are of the same grocery bag blowing in the wind, but that's kind of what you get when you have a low-budget movie. But I will say this, as far as this not being a good movie, and it's not, it's awesomely bad. This is one of those movies you can enjoy, even if you're not very good at riffing movies. You can just sit there and laugh at how bad this is. It's fun like that. It's just a generic slasher movie, but with so many holes and funny things going on that it's easy to make fun of and have fun. So if you're one of those people who likes awesomely bad movies, then do yourself a favor and go check out Intruder. It's freaking awesome. So there you have it. That's movie review this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. Tell me what you thought of Intruder. Tell me if you think it would have been better as Night Crew. Love you guys.